Welcome to the Land House channel. I'm Seth. This is a ram pump. It's a water pump that does not need fuel or electricity to operate, only flowing, falling water. Essentially how it works is water will fall from a drive pipe and activate this waste valve. That creates a pressure wave that sends water into the secondary valve. That fills this pressure tank and then sends water uphill. When that initial pressure wave is created, it also sends a wave back up the drive pipe, and that valve hangs open, waiting for the water to close it again. For every 1 foot of drop going into the pump, you can expect about 7 feet out. It's a pretty ingenious little device that helps out for your gardens or watering livestock. And I have 4 different sizes of the pre-assembled and the kits available. I'll have links down below. I have a 1-inch pump in my creek, and every year I like to do a video to show these start up after winter. So let's head down to the creek and see if we can't get that 1-inch pump up and running. This is my 1-inch ram pump. It's been in the creek for several years, and as you can see, I did not take care of it over the winter time. It's got lots of leaves and other debris around the system. And if you've been with the channel for a while, you may also notice that a portion of my flume is gone. I recycled that for a solar project up on my hill. Let's go ahead and clean up the ram pump, and then we will move up creek and get all of those portions of the system clean and ready to go as well. There's a block of wood that used to keep the ram pump attached to the flume. I'm going to remove that. It's no longer needed since the flume is not here. So typically you want to lock down your ram pump as best you can. Otherwise it will move around and shake and reduce your pressure wave. So in this case, I'm going to use this concrete block to kind of support the pump. If I need to, I can use some of that plumber's strap to get this locked down better. I think I'll just anchor the pump down a little bit with some bigger rocks, and that should keep things steady enough for us to use now. Now, getting ready for the initial startup, I'm going to close this valve, which is used to just empty the tank whenever it's winter time. Got that closed. I'm also going to close the delivery pipe going uphill. And I'm going to make sure that the drive pipe valve is open so that water can flow down here. I believe that'll do it for getting the pump itself ready. It's not in too bad of condition. Let's follow the drive pipe all the way uphill to the filter bucket, which you can find right here, and we will empty that out and get it ready for water to enter it. The drive pipe of my ram pump system is right at 55 feet long and has a total drop of about 7 feet. And that lets me have a high flow rate at about a 35-foot lift. This bucket right here is actually rather important for the ram pump system. It's the silt filter and air filter bucket. So you can see the drive pipe connects about halfway here on the bucket, which means the lower half is an area where silt or sediment can build up. And you can see the upper portion also lets air bubbles float up and exit the system. Because if the drive pipe has any air in it, it will stop the ram pump. So if we open this up, you can see how the silt and sediment can build up in the bottom, and the air-free drive pipe is right there in the middle. To bring water to this, I have a supply pipe. The supply pipe is this 1-inch pipe right here. Let me just push this in here real quick so you can see how that fills up. Now I've got the drain plug open from wherever I drained this over the winter time. So it's just kind of pulling out some of that extra silt in there. So we go ahead and close this up. It will begin to fill this bucket and send water down to the ram pump. This right here is simply an overflow that lets the water go off to the flume. Now that flow rate is pretty good, but let's follow the supply pipe up to the source and make sure the screens are nice and clean. This bit of creek right here is actually the water source. As you can see, the rocks and silt and sand have covered up these screens. So I need to get back in here and kind of wash this away a bit and open it back up. So I'm just going to pull some of these rocks out of here and see if I can't get this screen to be exposed again. I'll let that settle for a second. You can see the pipes down here. These are 2 3-inch pipes with a bunch of holes drilled into them, and then window screen put on top of that. That keeps out most of the debris here, the bigger stuff. And of course the silt gets in there and then travels down to that silt filter bucket. Okay, that should be clean enough for now. I'm gonna go ahead and put these big rocks back here to keep the water dammed up, and then we will be able to get this system back up and running. I found that using a big flat rock like this helps to keep out some of the sand and lets plenty of water still flow into the system there. Now I could tell the supply pipe was already flowing a good bit of water, but sometimes an airlock will cause the flow to be reduced. So I like to pick up my supply pipe to about the point where the water stops flowing, wait for a second, and then drop it down as far as you can, and that will pull that air bubble out. Oftentimes you'll see it gurgle for a while, and then it'll have the full flow rate of that pipe. So I'm going to sit here for a moment, getting the air out, and then we will walk down to the ram pump and get that started. Flow rate seems pretty good. I'm going to set this in the bucket, and that will fill this back up. The overflow will come out right here, and the ram pump will be fed midway through that bucket. All right, we'll go ahead and put the lid back on. We should be ready to go down to the pump. Got a nice overflow there. I'm back down here at the ram pump. I need to reset my union. The union on the pump just allows you to have a way to basically remove the drive pipe and do maintenance on the pump. So let me get that loosened up real quick. Make sure the O-ring is good in here. I do see the O-ring. All right, let me go ahead and get the pump situated. Get that nice and tight. I'm gonna open up the valve on the drive pipe. Okay, the water has just closed the waste valve, and now it has filled up the pressure tank a little bit. What I'm going to do is open up the delivery pipe going uphill. The water is now bypassing the pump and filling this up to match the source. So basically it's going to fill it uphill to about the 7-foot mark. Now in order to get the pump going, I have to press down the waste valve several times. This is going to send a burst of water uphill, and I have to have enough water in the delivery pipe to push back down on the pump and keep pressure in the tank. So I'm going to begin pressing right here. This could take anywhere from a couple of pushes to 100. One way you can check to make sure your pump is working correctly is to close the delivery pipe going uphill and then cycle the pump several times. Water will begin to rise up in the pressure tank, which on the clear tank you can see that. On the regular PVC tanks you can't see the water going up here. Basically what's happened is I have introduced artificial back pressure, and that has allowed the pump to begin cycling on its own. It's putting pressure here in the tank, but as soon as I open that delivery pipe, the pump will stop because it doesn't have enough pressure pushing back down on the pump. So open that up, this water goes back down, pump stops, and now I just need to press this lots of times until it begins to cycle on its own. I've pushed the valve about 40 times, and it's getting close to wanting to work on its own. Sometimes right here at the edge it will work a few times and then stop. So you just have to keep pressing it until it does work on its own consistently. Enough water has been pushed up the delivery pipe to hold back pressure on the pump, and so now the waste valve is cycling on its own. You can see how much water is being pushed uphill with each cycle as the pressure tank goes up and down here. This is somewhere around 3/4 of a gallon per minute. Looks like putting rocks over the pump has kept it pretty stationary, so we should be good in that aspect. The further the pump pushes water uphill, the higher the water level in the pressure tank is going to get. Whenever this is almost to the very top at the 35-foot mark, the water level is going to be all the way up here in the pressure tank, and the pressure is all going to be right here in the cap. So if you fill the pressure tank, you'll notice the water gets pretty high as it goes uphill. Now, if you weren't lifting very high, it would maintain a lower pressure in here somewhere in the middle. All right, now that I have the pump up and running, let's follow the delivery pipe uphill to the storage tank. The delivery pipe comes up from the creek right over here, under this bridge, goes up under the culvert, and then goes up the yard, halfway buried, halfway not. You can see right here where it kind of pops back up out of the ground. And this is going to travel up the hill into the woods up to the 35-foot lift mark. So let's step up the hill here and see where this is going. But first, let me show, if you tap on a pipe like this, so I can hear that that is full of water. It's also cool and heavy, so that definitely has flow going through it. Let's step up here a ways and we will be able to figure out where the water has gotten to. Now, we'll be able to turn this off right here, and that will send water over to the garden space once my tank is full. So let's follow this up here and see if we can find out where the water has gotten to. If I tap on this line, you can hear that it's empty. If I tap this line, it's full. It's also cool to the touch and heavier. Following my delivery pipe up the hill to this point right here, I noticed that the water is right here. So it is at my storage tank. We just barely beat it up here. So let's see if I can hear it here. That's empty, empty, full right there. So my water storage tank is a 330-gallon IBC tote inside of a cage, and that helps to keep everything. Oh, hold on. I just heard it. There we go. So as you can see, the output is not a lot, but you have that over the course of a 24-hour period, and it will fill up this tank here. So very nice. Let's get that back in a position here. Very cool. All right, well, there you go. The water has now reached the storage tank from the ram pump. I know you can't see, but it's way off the mountain over there. In case you missed it, I built this tower for my IBC tote last year, and it has worked out very well for the first season anyhow. Let me show you how the pipe system works on my design. So this pipe right over here that's closer to the ground is taking water up. It kind of goes along the outside here and then just straight into the top of the tank. Now the output is perhaps a bit different. So to go down to my garden or wherever I want to use the water, I have this fern co-fitting, comes out to a stand pipe, which then goes down to my garden space. The stand pipe also acts as the overflow. So if I zoom in right here, you can see the pipe comes off of a T, and that just simply goes off over into the woods and lets the water drain over there. And so the standpipe basically can let some air out of this portion right here, and the water just raises up to match what's in the tank and then goes out right there. Works out quite well. So going downhill, this water then goes into a split right up here, so I can water some grass at the top of my hill. You can see one side goes this way and the other side goes down to the garden, which is way down there. Traveling back downhill, I use this right here as a clean out, or a way to empty the tank up there. Let's see if there's enough water. Nope, not yet, not enough in that, but water will reach this point here. I can either hook a hose to that, or there's an underground hose, or there's an underground pipe right here that goes over to my garden space. And what happened is, didn't drain all the water out, and it froze and broke a piece here. So I need to replace the PVC part and use all PEX tubing, and that will prevent this break from happening. But essentially what I do with that, you can actually see the water down in there. I use this to then water my little garden space, which I will be planting here in the next couple of hours. After a couple minutes, the water has now reached this point and is overflowing. All right, and that concludes the 2023 ram pump startup video. I hope you have found this helpful and pulled some information from my system here. Now keep in mind, I do have 4 different sizes available in both the pre-assembled and the do-it-yourself version. So check out the links in the description down below. I'm Seth with the Land to House channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.